This is iOS app coding without storyboard, and we're going to give you some hints for exercise 3. You need to be in the anim screen, and you need to modify the code there. The first thing you need to do is slow down size animation, and this line controls the speed of the animation. So you need to change the 0.5 to a different value and just see what happens. The next problem is psi is not drawn in the correct window. So this is your anim screen window, and the object is just self. There is also a scroll window which is the same size as anim screen. However, it is called self.scroll v. You need to replace which view size animation goes into. So it's not self. You can guess what it needs to be. The next exercise that you must do is to speed up the moving dot at the top of the screen. This is moving the lower dot, but the code is very similar. This parameter and this parameter control how long it takes for the animation to finish. So this parameter is specified in seconds. So to speed it up, you would make the number smaller. To slow it down, you would make the number bigger. Delay is how long to delay the animation before starting, but you don't need to use that parameter. Another task that you're supposed to do with the upper moving dot is adjust this parameter. For the upper dot, the option is set to UI View Animation Option Ease In Out. What this does is it makes the dot gradually speed up and then gradually slow down. You need to change this option to UI View Animation Option Curve Linear and see what that does to the movement of the dot. Another exercise that you must do is with this move test function, and you need to make the dot move to the bottom right corner. The way this animation block works is whatever you set up outside the animation block is your initialization. Here we have a nested animation. So the first thing we do here is we grab the frame of the dot. So that has the position and the size of the frame. We only need to change the position. Right now, we're making the dot move simply down to the bottom of the screen. And you need to make this move to the bottom right. So you need to add an extra line of code. After it moves to the bottom right, this finish routine will execute. And it moves the dot back to the middle of the screen, plus a little bit of a border. So you need to make the dot move back to the middle as well for the X position, and this is the Y position. Again, it just grabs the dot frame and it will do the adjustment. The last task that you must do is for scale test. Scale test will scale the second dot. Your task is to scale the first dot as well. So everything that is done to dot 2, you need to do to dot. And just to give you an explanation of what the routine does, identity means to transform the dot to its original dimensions. This routine will transform the frame to 5 times its width and 5 times its height. So again, you need to do the same thing with dot. So you need to add a statement here for dot. When it's done scaling up, this finish routine will execute, and you need to scale it back down to its original size. So you need to add another line of code here. The last task for you to do is the dial. The dial is spinning in the wrong direction, and the dial is adjusted by this angle. This angle is calculated by adding the difference between the current finger position relative to the center of the dial versus the old position of the center of the dial. So the hint I'm going to give you is you need to change that function there. Let me just make that you need to change this function here. And that completes your hints for this exercise.